In the forgotten town of Eldermoor, nestled deep within the heart of the mist-covered moors, a mysterious legend shrouded the village in an unsettling darkness. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Eldermoor transformed into a realm where shadows danced with malevolent intent. The legend spoke of a cursed bloodline, a family tainted by an ancient pact with a creature that roamed the moors under the moon's baleful gaze. The villagers huddled in their homes as twilight descended, afraid to venture beyond the safety of flickering candlelight. The air in Eldermoor bore a heavy weight, pregnant with the secrets of a lineage entwined with the supernatural. The Cobbington estate, an imposing manor at the outskirts of town, harbored the truth. Generations of the Cobbingtons had hidden a sinister secret that bound them to the creature of the moors. As the moon ascended in the night sky, a low growl echoed through the twisted branches of the gnarled trees. The villagers exchanged fearful glances, each one haunted by the age-old tale of the Eldermoor werewolf. Those who dared to investigate the origins of the legend met an untimely demise or were swallowed by the enveloping darkness, leaving only whispers behind. A stranger named Victor Drake arrived in Eldermoor, drawn by the lure of the village's haunted past. His piercing gaze and air of mystery captivated the locals, but Victor harbored a hidden agenda. He sought the truth behind the Eldermoor werewolf, a truth that lay buried within the Cobbington estate. The Cobbingtons, bound by a curse passed down through the generations, were tormented by their nightly transformation into creatures of the moors. The once proud family had become prisoners of their own legacy, unable to escape the inevitable descent into savagery. Victor, driven by an insatiable curiosity, delved into the forbidden histories hidden within the Cobbington manor. As he unraveled the threads of the cursed bloodline, he discovered a cryptic ritual that promised to sever the ties to the Eldermoor werewolf. The villagers, unaware of Victor's true intentions, watched with a mix of suspicion and hope as he delved deeper into the forbidden. With each passing night, the moon's luminous glow intensified, casting long shadows that seemed to come alive with the whispers of the Eldermoor werewolf. The villagers grew restless, torn between their desire for freedom from the curse and the fear of awakening a force beyond their understanding. The Cobbington Manor, once a symbol of wealth and prestige, became a battleground between Victor's relentless pursuit of the truth and the ancient curse that clung to the family like a vengeful specter. As the climax approached, Eldermoor stood on the precipice of revelation, teetering between salvation and the unrelenting darkness that lurked within the moors. The wind carried an otherworldly howl through the twisted trees, a haunting symphony that echoed the impending reckoning. The Eldermoor werewolf, a creature of myth and nightmare, waited in the shadows, poised to reveal its secrets or unleash an age-old fury upon the unsuspecting village. The air crackled with anticipation, leaving the fate of Eldermoor hanging in the balance, an unresolved enigma awaiting its final chapter. As the moon reached its zenith, bathing Eldermoor in an ethereal glow, Victor Drake uncovered the final pieces of the dark puzzle within the Cobbington Manor. Cryptic symbols adorned the walls, and ancient tomes whispered secrets of the Eldermoor werewolf's origin. It was a curse born from an age-old pact, a desperate bargain forged in desperation and sealed with the blood of a long-forgotten ancestor. The ritual Victor sought held the key to breaking the cycle, but its cost was unknown. He gathered the villagers in the dilapidated town square, their faces a mosaic of hope and trepidation. With an air of solemn determination, Victor explained the ancient rite that promised to sever the ties to the Eldermoor werewolf. The villagers listened intently, their collective breath held as the words hung in the cool night air. Yet, even as Victor spoke, shadows seemed to writhe and twist at the edges of the village. As if the Eldermoor werewolf itself sensed the impending change, the Cobbington family, torn between the desire to be free from the curse and the fear of the unknown consequences, watched from the periphery, their eyes betraying the turmoil within. As the ritual unfolded under the watchful gaze of the moon, a sudden gust of wind extinguished the torches lining the square. In the ensuing darkness, a guttural growl echoed, sending shivers down the spines of the villagers. Panic gripped Eldermoor, and whispers of doubt and fear spread like wildfire. In the heart of the chaos, the Cobbington Manor's doors creaked open, revealing a figure cloaked in shadows. Silhouetted against the moonlit night, the Eldermoor werewolf emerged, its eyes gleaming with an otherworldly intelligence. The air crackled with an energy that spoke of ancient resentment and a thirst for vengeance. Victor, undeterred by the unfolding pandemonium, continued the ritual with unwavering determination. The villagers, caught between the promise of liberation and the looming presence of the Eldermoor werewolf, teetered on the edge of a precipice. As the final incantation echoed through the air, the Eldermoor werewolf let out a haunting howl that pierced the stillness. The ground trembled beneath its fury, and a dark aura enveloped the square. In that moment, a choice hung in the balance: to embrace the unknown and break free from the curse, or succumb to the ancient force that sought to retain its hold on Eldermoor. The Eldermoor werewolf, caught between the realms of beast and sentient being, fixed its gaze on Victor with an intensity that spoke of a shared destiny. The villagers, frozen in a tableau of uncertainty, waited for the impending resolution. As the moonlight wove through the intricate patterns of the ritual, a surge of energy pulsed through Eldermoor. The outcome remained uncertain, the resolution veiled in the enigma of an ancient curse and the ever-present shadow of the Eldermoor werewolf. The climax approached, leaving Eldermoor poised on the precipice of transformation or eternal entanglement in the tapestry of its own haunted history. The story unfolded like a dark sonnet, the verses leading toward an uncertain crescendo that would echo through the ages. As the final verse of the ritual echoed through the square, a profound silence enveloped Eldermoor. The air hung heavy with anticipation, and the Eldermoor werewolf's gaze bore into Victor with an unsettling mixture of hostility and recognition. In that fragile moment, the villagers dared to believe that the curse might be broken, that the nightmare haunting their bloodline could finally be laid to rest. But as the last echoes of the incantation dissipated, an unexpected change rippled through the atmosphere. The Eldermoor werewolf, caught between the throes of transformation, wavered on the brink of its dual existence. Shadows danced upon its fur, and a surreal stillness settled over the square, freezing the onlookers in a tableau of suspense. A voice, neither Victor's nor the Eldermoor werewolf's, resonated through the night, speaking words that seemed to come from the very fabric of the curse itself. The pact must be fulfilled, for the threads of destiny are interwoven with the blood spilled in ages past. To sever them is to court chaos or forge a new covenant. The villagers, their eyes wide with a mixture of hope and trepidation, looked to Victor for guidance. His gaze flickered between the ancient tomes and the Eldermoor werewolf, understanding that the path ahead was fraught with unforeseen consequences. The Eldermoor werewolf, now suspended in an indeterminate state, seemed to communicate with Victor through an unspoken connection. A flicker of intelligence shone in its eyes, as if pleading for understanding or perhaps offering a choice not yet revealed. Victor, burdened by the weight of the village's expectations, faced a dilemma that transcended the confines of the ritual. The threads of destiny hung in the balance, and Eldermoor teetered on the edge of a transformation that could either free it from the shackles of the past or plunge it into a new, unforeseen darkness. As the moon maintained its watchful vigil, the destiny of Eldermoor hung in the delicate equilibrium of choice and consequence. The enigma of the curse, the ancient pact, and the sentient nature of the Eldermoor werewolf intertwined like strands of a complex tapestry, leaving the resolution poised on the edge of revelation or ruin. The Eldermoor square remained shrouded in an eerie silence, broken only by the distant howl of a lone wolf echoing through the moors. The villagers, caught in a liminal space between hope and uncertainty, awaited the next turn in the saga, unaware that the story was far from reaching its final chapter. The moonlit night whispered secrets of the past, and Eldermoor braced itself for the inevitable conclusion of a tale written in the ink of shadows and moonbeams. In the pregnant hush of the Eldermoor square, Victor's gaze lingered on the Eldermoor werewolf, a creature caught between worlds, its eyes revealing a story untold. As if guided by an unseen force, Victor uttered words that resonated with the essence of the ancient pact. "The threads that bind us," he declared, his voice carrying a weight that seemed to echo through the ages, "can be rewoven, not severed. A new covenant, born of understanding and shared destiny, is our path forward." The Eldermoor werewolf, no longer a creature of malevolence but a sentinel of the moors, acknowledged Victor's words with a nod that held the promise of a different fate. The air shimmered with a subtle energy, and a gentle wind swept through the square, dispelling the lingering shadows. As the moon dipped below the horizon, the villagers, their fear transformed into a cautious hope, witnessed a metamorphosis. The Eldermoor werewolf, once a harbinger of dread, now stood as a guardian, a protector of the moors and the legacy that bound it to the village. Eldermoor, bathed in the soft glow of dawn, experienced a rebirth. The curse that had haunted generations was replaced by a newfound harmony, an understanding between the villagers and the enigmatic being that had shared their existence for centuries. Victor, having played his part in rewriting the village's destiny, left Eldermoor with the first light of morning. The tales of Eldermoor's transformation spread far and wide, becoming a beacon of hope for those burdened by their own shadows. The villagers, free from the specter of the curse, embraced a future that held the promise of renewal. Yet, as Eldermoor embarked on its new chapter, questions lingered in the hearts of those who had witnessed the unfolding saga. The nature of the ancient pact, the true origins of the Eldermoor werewolf, and the intricacies of the rewritten covenant remained veiled in mystery. The moors, while no longer echoing with the haunting howls of a malevolent force, retained the secrets of an age-old tale, inviting future seekers to unravel the enigma. And so, Eldermoor stood as a testament to the transformative power of choice and understanding. A village reborn from the crucible of its own history. The Eldermoor werewolf, now a guardian of the moors, continued to roam beneath the moonlit sky, its watchful eyes holding the echoes of a past that had shaped its existence. The village, having faced the shadows of its legacy, embraced the dawn of a new era, ready to navigate the uncharted territories of a future shaped by the delicate dance of fate and free will.